fucking fingers. Let's say that's the bad guy.
Just come outside for the night. Take your time, get your life. Dirty night,
I like to watch YouTube videos usually when I'm cooking or doing something tedious like washing the dishes or whatever. Right now I'm just making breakfast. Had some management work to take care of earlier, but now I'm making breakfast. About to shower up, get ready for the day. We got a good one ahead. I forgot to show the breakfast. I was so hungry. But it was just eggs, fruit, and milk. Right now I'm just watching YouTube videos. And I'm just seeing now that Ross Ulbricht from the Silk Road is free. Pretty insane stuff if you know who he is. I read some incredible book on him called American Kingpin. Very fascinating. So just continuing now with some more management work, but after this, got some more fun and interesting work. Going to be writing a script for a different YouTube channel, that of which I'm not going to disclose, at least as of yet. And after that, got to film that, edit that. Got some more fun editing to do for another separate project. Then after that, if I could make time, I want to try to visit my grandma today with my mother. So we'll see if there's time for that because I know she's going to be leaving at 6 p.m. So I'm going to try to work as fast as possible, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt the quality of this video. So it's quite a dilemma. And then I also have some fun stuff planned for tonight that you guys are definitely going to like. It involves cars, of course. Currently, it's about 1:27, so I figured I'd show you what the view looks like here once the sun is out. I've been showing you the sunsets and at night, but this is what it looks like during the day. Pretty beautiful, honestly. You get to see the reflection of the sun over the water. And I get to do my work here. Never get bored, never want to leave my office. Just makes me want to work harder every single day. Also just reviewing the final edits of short form content that we filmed the other day that my editor is now sending to me, getting ready to schedule. There is some change that I wanted to be made. After that, we're going to have it scheduled. We use the Later.com app. I'd highly recommend you use it. Obviously, I run tons of different social accounts. Like, we have different niches and like 4 accounts on different platforms for like every single niche. So this website is super useful because it allows you to schedule everything ahead of time. Now, there's some conspiracy theories that apparently if you use Later.com or any of these schedulers, because it's not a human uploading it, the algorithm could notice that and that becomes a variable. I'm not 100% on that, and honestly, I'm really skeptical of it, but that is outweighed by the amount of value these kinds of scheduling tools do give me. So I'm willing to sacrifice that potential variable, honestly, for just the amount of ease I get, the amount of time I save from being able to schedule everything through here. But the one thing I do need to upload manually is the YouTube shorts, because we have platforms on YouTube as well, because you can't select the thumbnails through here like you can for Instagram and TikTok. So if I want to pick a thumbnail, for the thumbnails, I actually have to manually post that on YouTube and select it. So that is a little time consuming, and that's actually what I'm about to do right now. So literally right from my phone, like I'm manually uploading this. But when it comes to TikTok and Instagram, I'm using Later.com for that, even Twitter. And it's really important if you're running a business because you want to be on as many platforms as possible. We literally post the same content across all the platforms, and this just maximizes the amount of views you could get. Now, there is an interesting theory that I've been thinking about where that might actually be hindering the performance of my content, because if one person hypothetically sees the same video on TikTok and Instagram for the second time, they see it again and they're going to be like, oh, I already saw this. They swipe past it. That hurts the retention, even though that's not the actual true retention for that video. It's like unnecessarily getting put down in the algorithm. So I think there's a possibility that this could be harming. It could be harming the algorithm, but as of now, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing, posting the same content across all the platforms. But if any other content creators have considered this too, let me know in the comments what your theories are about that. Maybe it becomes problematic once you reach a certain size. Right now, all my accounts are relatively small, just getting low 1,000 views. So it's probably a very, very tiny percentage of people who are seeing the same content across the same platforms, because I don't promote the platforms across each other anyway, but it's an interesting thing to think about, and I don't see any other content creators talking about this who run businesses, but let me know your thoughts if you also create content. So as you can see here, you literally have to go into that app manually to select the thumbnail, and I think for YouTube especially, selecting the thumbnail is definitely important, because when you're scrolling through YouTube, it's not like TikTok where the videos start autoplaying. You'll see all the shorts with their thumbnails, so selecting a thumbnail is definitely very important for YouTube Shorts in my opinion. So that's why I don't schedule those on later, and I do those manually. Obviously it is time consuming, but I think it's definitely worth it. Another really interesting social media theory while on the topic of YouTube Shorts that I wanted to discuss was how YouTube Shorts could actually be hurting your long form content. Now, I don't know if the pros outweigh the cons for this, but let me hear your thoughts on this. So I watched a video this one time of a guy going over his channel analytics, and he was explaining how because he's getting a lot of subscribers from his short form content, and those people only want to watch his short form content, the proportion of views for his long form videos and YouTube recommending it to all these people who are just not clicking on it is hurting his analytics more than it is helping. So even though he's putting that video out to a greater amount of people, now the amount of people proportionally who aren't clicking on it, who are seeing it and deciding not to click on it, is going down. Like, it's proportionally being hit really hard, because say he gained 100,000 people from YouTube Shorts, but only 50,000 people from long form content. Now there's tons of people who only want to watch his shorts. They see his long form content video on the recommended and they scroll past it. YouTube recognizes all those things. So it's an interesting theory of how short form content on YouTube in particular could actually be hurting your channel. And it's pretty scary to think about, because I've already been doing so many shorts on YouTube and getting subscribers from that. But one thing that he did say in the video, that at the very least, if you're gonna make short form content for your channel, you can't just make random short form content for your channel to get views, because that's gonna exaggerate the problem that I just explained. What you have to make sure you're doing is you have to make very, very relevant content to your long form content. Like, you can't just make stuff that's gonna go viral to get mass attention. You have to make stuff that's really centered on your niche. And another great feature that YouTube just recently added for short form content, you can now add a related video. So basically, this feature allows you to select a long form video, and it's going to show up right underneath the title of the short. So people are going to be able to click on the long form content straight from the short. So inside the shorts, then you could be strategic, and you could say something along the lines of, well, if you want more information on this, make sure you watch the full video here. Something along the lines of that. Obviously, you want to be more clever with the script. That was just off the top of my head. But you want to make sure that people are going to your long form content with the short form content. Otherwise, like I just explained, it could actually be hindering your channel. You could actually be hurting your channel long term if you're getting tons of subscribers and views, but they're not relevant to your long form content, because then YouTube's gonna recognize people aren't clicking your long form content, and it's gonna go into a negative feedback loop of YouTube not recommending you much at all. So it's a pretty scary theory to think about. And at the very least, what you need to make sure you're doing, make very relevant shorts to your long form content, and then also link the related video. One unfortunate thing they took away from shorts sometime a couple months ago is you can no longer link things in your pinned comments. Like, links are no longer clickable. Very smart from YouTube, because they don't want people leaving the platform, I guess. Kind of the same thing with TikTok and Instagram. But at the very least, now you could at least link one of your long form content videos. Highly recommend you do that. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this theory, because it is something that's honestly kind of scary to think about. Another thing that I wanted to bring up that I actually worked on last night, because while I was thinking about how I just explained the 4-step sales funnel in my other video and how you need to do a lot of short form content, funnel people into the YouTube channel, the long form content, I just realized like I wasn't making any short form content for this channel. And I was thinking to myself, well, this could be really fun to make short form content for because I have the perfect theme for it. So what I decided to do, I'll show you. I decided to write out all of the lessons that I've been putting inside of these videos. They're completely like random, you know, they're not organized in any way. It's legit just in the same order I've been telling them. I realized a very interesting type of content could be just making short form content, like making TikToks or Instagram reels where I legit just give one of these. Like if I were to just make, say, okay, how about this one? Like, don't live with regrets. I could think of so many short form content ideas just for that alone. And so just yesterday, I decided to make an Instagram and a TikTok for that. And I made an edit and just uploaded my first one. So if you do want to follow it, feel free. The account name on TikTok and Instagram is Keep It Real with underscores. I'll put it on the screen right now. So yeah, feel free to check that out if you guys want. Basically, gonna be trying to do exactly what I'm explaining. The same concept is for any type of structure. I'm legit gonna show you like how I'm doing it firsthand, funneling people into this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. Like being fully transparent, showing you how to do this, how this same formula is working in every single niche. You could literally do it in any niche. Like the niche where I'm teaching about how the niche works, the whole structure, like it works for that too. Guys, this structure is really everything in the modern day. I made a whole video on this. Check it out if you haven't already. And if you're new, definitely make sure to subscribe. Often when I have free time, I just like to read the general chat, the Talk Here channel inside of the main group. And this just made me so happy seeing this guy. He said, woke up at 9:59, read the MISC updates, entered in this drop, went about my day. So I listed them up and sold them for $70 in profit. $70 for 2 minutes of work. That's exactly what this whole reselling thing is all about. It's so easy to make money inside of reselling, guys. I know that's not the focus of this channel, but I would encourage you to check it out. Feel free to check the link in the description for that. There's a free group, or you could even join the full group there too. I was just texting my friend Troy, who lives in another state, came to visit me for a couple days once. We've known each other since we were very, very young, and I just recently told him about my channel that I just started because we're kind of on the same page with, you know, having a lot of goals in mind and being very driven. And he basically was like, I really like that idea. I want to start something soon. And he said, I will very soon. It's on my list for 2025. Hopefully by the end of Feb, I'll have it all set up and throw one video up. And what I told him, I said, then say by the end of February. Type it out without the word hopefully. Basically, the whole reason I said that is because I genuinely believe when you say something and you're somebody who keeps to your word, even if you just say it to yourself, you're manifesting it in a kind of way. You're like making a promise to yourself, and every little thing that you end up doing, you're more inclined to be geared towards your goal because you're always going to have that in the back of your head. I genuinely believe in manifesting. I genuinely believe in the law of attraction. I think that's going to be the theme of today's video. I genuinely believe, and this is coming from someone who I am a man of science. I believe in physics and biology. I don't think that manifesting in the law of attraction is heebie-jeebie nonsense. I believe there is a lot to it, and we'll talk more about it later, but I do have to get back to work right now. All right, I just finished up filming the video for that other channel I was talking about, and for the first time on this channel, I actually decided to do it off the dome instead of scripting it, which I normally do for this channel, but I want to experiment with something new, seeing how people just like it raw, you know, unfiltered, just me talking. And I'll show a little bit of a clip to give you an idea of what the video is about, how to think outside the box. The way Ross Ulbricht was caught was actually by the IRS. And a good analogy to how he was caught was how a very infamous murderer, serial killer from the 70s in New York, I believe, was caught. You know, they couldn't find much evidence in the DNA, they couldn't find much evidence in the weapons or anything. But somebody decided to think outside the box. And they thought, well, if I'm committing murders all around these locations, I probably drive a car, and I have to park that car. But if I'm committing murders, why would I pay for parking? So they decided to search for cars that were ticketed near the murders, and if there were any correlations with the license plates or the vehicles that were also getting tickets at the different murders. And that's how they isolated the true serial killer. Parking tickets. It's nothing to do with the weapons, the DNA, nothing. Sometimes you really just have to think outside the box. And that's how Ross was caught too. He was asking questions on Stack Overflow about certain problems he was having with maintaining the website. You have to think outside the box. Put yourself in his shoes. What are some things he would be doing that could potentially, you know, reveal his name? And sure enough, he was asking questions on a different website using his real name, Ross Ulbricht. Romeo, andiamo. Chi è? Nonna? Nonna? Chi è, Romeo? Andiamo. Okay. How's it going, bro? Good to see you. How's your day? Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. All right, I'll see you later.
Savage, you be with no apes. Play with this shit, you get eight. Bitch, I be covered in baby. Bitch, I be covered in baby. You know I keep me a K. You know I keep me a Drake. Go.
I've been listening to this book. It's called Journey to Exultan, The Lessons of Don Juan. I highly recommend it if you like the 48 Laws of Power. Robert Greene recommended it. He said that a lot of the stuff in the 48 Laws of Power was actually inspired by this book. Of course, many others like The Prince by Machiavelli too, but this is definitely a very interesting read so far, and you're starting to see things, but you definitely have to do a lot of critical thinking while you're reading or listening to this. Highly recommended, nonetheless. Journey to Exultan, The Lessons of Don Juan. Today I did want to talk about the law of attraction though, and why I believe in it despite being a man of science, someone who strongly believes in physics, biology. I like to see evidence of things, but there's some things that don't have evidence that I choose to believe. That's another thing in itself. Choose to believe things that make you more competitive in life, that make you enjoy life more, give you a better quality of life. I choose to believe certain things, even if there isn't evidence for them, just because I know it gives me a better quality of life, makes me more competitive. Like, why would I choose to believe that depression is a real thing? Why would I choose that? Why would I give it power? Why would I choose to believe in ghosts if I'm going to be staying in a haunted house and I have to sleep there? Makes no sense. I choose to believe in the law of attraction, and I genuinely do. I genuinely believe the law of attraction is real, because I believe when you're constantly thinking about something, every little action you end up doing, often subconsciously, you're doing things in that direction. You do little things here and there that bring you closer to your goal, often without even noticing it. Subconsciously, most of the time, manifestation is a real thing. I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time, but manifesting something is only going to increase the likelihood of you obtaining whatever it is that you want. It won't just magically occur, but it's going to increase the probability of it occurring rather than decreasing it, of course. If you have your mind set on something, you're more likely to do things that are going to get you to that end goal. And so it's the same with anything in life, any job you want, any car you want. The more you think about it, the more you're going to end up subconsciously doing things that are going to get you towards that goal. And so I believe the law of attraction is a real thing, and there's so many benefits that come with it too. If you genuinely believe that you're going to win the fight, it's going to give you confidence. It's going to give you a calmness under the pressure, so your adrenaline doesn't cause you to run out of gas in the second round. I remember when I was preparing for my fight, I wondered how the so-called adrenaline dump would affect me. And it did. I will admit, I did feel an adrenaline dump towards the third round. It really feels like you're fighting underwater. Despite in training camp constantly doing multiple rounds of sparring with no issue, the adrenaline dump is interesting. It messes with your breathing. But because I went into that fight knowing that I put in the work, knowing that I trained my best, knowing that I was ready, I did everything I could, and my opponent was no match for me. Because no way he put in the same kind of effort I put in. No way he was going to stay calm like me under the pressure. I genuinely believed that going into the fight. And oddly, I wasn't nervous the night before. I slept like a baby. I slept completely fine, woke up at the usual time, and on my way to the fight, I was just awaiting the nerves to kick in, and they just never came. Because the whole time, I really just believed I knew what I was doing there. I really believed I was the There was nothing fake about it. I really believed that no one could touch me. And funny enough, in that fight, I hardly got touched. I took a body shot with a leg kick. Face never got touched. Very dominant fight. And I just went into that fight with the full confidence, knowing I knew what I was doing. Now think of it, if you went into that fight with the opposite mentality, like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen.
oh God, what if I get knocked out? How embarrassing it's gonna be in front of all those people. No, there is no what if. There is no if. That's not gonna happen. Absolutely not. That's not a part of this reality. And because you genuinely believe that, it keeps you calm, keeps you focused. These are things that inevitably allow you to fight better. You're more economical with your energy. You breathe better. The adrenaline dump doesn't kick in the first round. You don't overthink everything. Manifesting things, the law of attraction, genuinely believing in yourself, all these things, they have effects. It's not just some heebie-jeebie nonsense. Now, it might not have the effect that some of these Instagram reels and, happy-go-lucky YouTubers will make it out to seem like it is, because it's not magic, but there are benefits to it. I genuinely believe that the law of attraction is a real thing. Now, the explanations that people tend to give when they're talking about the law of attraction oftentimes could be a little bit nonsensical to someone who believes in science. But at the same time, it can't be disproven, a lot of it. And so why not believe it? Why not choose to believe things that are going to make you more competitive in life? I choose to believe in God. Sure, there might not be perfect evidence, but I choose to believe in God. I choose to believe that God is something we don't have the ability to understand, the same way that you can't describe color to somebody who is born blind. They have no perception of it. They don't have the ability to perceive it. You can describe the wavelengths, but they just will never understand. I think it's important to be humble as a human with our measly 5 senses. Like, we're not all that great. There's things we simply cannot understand. We're beings of 3 dimensions. Going on a little bit of a tangent, but the main point is that I genuinely believe the law of attraction is real. There's real benefits to it. So whatever you want, you should genuinely believe that you're gonna get it. You should really believe in yourself that you are 100% going to get it, whatever it is you're gonna do. And another thing, the text I showed earlier, I believe when you say things out loud, when you write them down, especially in front of another person, you're that much more likely to do them. It's like you're making a promise. Even if you just say it to yourself, you're making a promise out in the universe. And if you don't fulfill it, you're a bitch. I remember when I decided I was gonna do that fight, I told myself, I'm gonna do this. And I started having some second thoughts like, I'm focused on my business now. I don't know if I'm ready to commit this amount of time, and I don't know if I'm ready to go on a diet like this, cut all that weight. It's a big sacrifice, a lot of time. I don't know if I'm ready for this. But I said it. I said it. So I had to do it now. That's the way I operate. If I say it, I gotta do it. I'm a man of my word. And then on top of that, then I told my crew, when I was at Muay Thai class one day, I told him, I said, hey, I want to do this next fight. Sign me up. And after that, I knew there was no backing out. Absolutely no way. Because not only did I tell the universe it, but I also told my crew it. And I could not disappoint him. I could not disappoint myself. I could not disappoint the universe. So if you're struggling to do something, say it. Say it out loud. Don't say, hopefully, I'm going to do this by the end of February. Say, I'm going to do this by the end of February. And then tell me. Leave it in the comments. Tell everyone else who's watching this video, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you're going to do. Because when you don't do it, you're average. It's all right. Not everyone's meant to be special. Not everyone's meant to be at the top. It's okay to be average, But just know your place. If you're watching this, there's a chance, there's a high likelihood that you are above average though. If you made it to this channel, there's a high chance that you are above average. So let's see. Let's see. Say it. I dare you. Say something in the comments that you're gonna do. And watch how some of you don't do it. But that percentage of you who does, you're gonna come back to this video one day. Come back and look at your comment. Say, yeah, I did do it. And soon you'll be driving nice cars like this. You'll be like the guy behind me driving another M4 just like this. Driving an M4 as your daily and a Ferrari 488 for fun. And I'm not even happy with this. I want more than this. I want money for my kids' kids. You know, it's important to be appreciative in life and love life. But at the same time, not to get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, ever. And if you start seeing yourself getting too comfortable, remind yourself. Visiting Nonna today despite having a lot of work because family comes first. For me, family is the most important. And I'm gonna have to end up doing some of the work while I'm there, but it's worth it. I don't mind. Bravo, Romeo. Chi è? Huh? Chi è? Nonna? Nonna? Dove? Huh? Dove? He knows. He knows what we're going to see.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Just come outside for the night. Yeah. Take your time, get your life. Shut it down. ella está prendida, jugué pastilla molía. Yo no pierdo tiempo, yo la cambio como Rosalía. La que me mira a los ojos por 5 segundos, ya yo sé que es mía. ¿Dónde está la mala? Que son bienvenidas, estoy puesto por lío. Dime si tú lías con amiguito, el corillo está bien rico, pero ese culo tuyo, wow, sobresalí.